On what authority and what auspices are you maintaining custody of this child?
Um,
Kershaw versus Waters.
Yes, I know. I'm trying to find the file. The motion is actually almost as thick as the file. So,
oh, there he is.
yeah, the motion is this thick.
Oh, wow.
So, I have a feeling I know what's going on, and it's going to be interesting. All right.
Hello.
Good morning, Mr. Waters. Welcome.
Good morning.
Kershaw. Ms. Kershaw, welcome. It's good to see you again. Hope everything's going well.
it's going pretty good.
Yeah, you didn't show up at, did you show up? I don't think you showed up the last hearing, Mr. Waters. We just had one a few weeks ago, but it didn't really have much to do with you. It had to do with some unfortunate situations with court filings and stuff. Okay. In any event, we're here in the matter of Kershaw versus Waters, case number 15-06716DS. From what I can tell of your filing, sir, because I mean, it's thick, but it's all over the board. I take it the child is with Miss Kershaw right now?
Yep, I haven't seen my daughter all summer long.
Okay. Ms. Kershaw, in what aspect and what auspices do you maintain custody of the child? Why do you have this kid? And she froze. Because you, from what I can tell, maintain sole legal and sole physical custody of this child.
I have since 2018, correct.
So it doesn't cause.
Yes, I know. I've read the file. The file gave me more information than your filing. Your filing just needed to contain a little bit more concise of the point of what happened and why the child went over to mom's. That's kind of, I pieced it together. I think it's a Child Protective Services case that got involved, and then you were not substantiated.
Yeah, well, she went to her mother's for the weekend and then Mother's Day weekend, which obviously she has parenting time with her on that weekend.
Right.
And she was supposed to be back Monday, and we let her stay till Tuesday or Wednesday.
Okay, again, Ms. Kershaw, now that you're unfrozen, the question stands. Can you hear me still?
Yes, I can hear you.
On what authority and what auspices are you maintaining custody of this child?
She's refusing to go back to her dad's. And when I had contacted the law enforcement, I've contacted CPS because I didn't know what to do in this case because I can't physically make her go to her.
Child Protective Services unsubstantiated whatever allegedly happened. So they said nothing happened. He has sole legal and sole physical custody at this point.
I understand that. But I can't make her physically go back. She won't get out of the car.
Well,
she won't go home.
You might want to tell her it's a current court order that she follows. If she does not, Mr. Waters has the right to apply for parental kidnapping charges against you.
Well, I'm not holding her at her will. And if she says that if she goes home, then she's just going to run away. And I'd rather not have her on the streets until we could figure out an agreement. I get that.
And Mr. Waters, why would she not want to return to your home?
I have no idea. See, came out and they did their investigation on the accusations that were said by Miss Kershaw and my daughter, and we've all been cleared. So,
have you talked with her since?
Who, Madeline?
Yes.
I've talked to her a few times, yes.
And what is she saying? Why is she telling you she won't come back?
She hasn't said that she won't come back at all to me.
I suggest you give her a call. At this point in time, I'm going to enforce the court orders absent any motion otherwise to change custody, which I do not have before me. I don't have a motion to change. I don't have a motion to change custody or parenting time or anything. I have to enforce the orders as they currently are, which is he has sole legal and sole physical custody. If she gets harmed, you have no ability to make a decision at the hospital. Ma'am, he has sole legal custody, so you don't even have authority making.
That and school starting soon, so
yeah, and she's got to get
her enrolled in school.
75 days of school last year.
She has MRSA infection.
No, she was never tested positive for it. She never had no source.
She has a doctor's note that said she has MRSA.
Okay, well, but that is not a lab tested result, Brandon. You can't just look.
Who else would have gotten a test? I don't have any of this before me.
So in my house,
please don't talk over one another.
I didn't know about this court hearing. They never served me my court papers. His wife had
Well,
said
all right.
something to Madeline about it, and I had called the courthouse
All right.
to see
Right
if there
now,
was
right
one.
now I am granting an order to enforce the current parenting time, and the police will assist if necessary. Most of the time,
That's
Mr.
fine.
Waters, so that you understand, they will not do much to place a child in a car.
Yep.
But this might give the child an important, I suggest you speak with the child so that that's not necessary, both of you.
Yep.
If there is a motion in the future to change custody or parenting time, this court will address it appropriately, but with no indication about what's going on other than, like I said, I had to piece it together. No offense, Mr. Waters, but your motion was all over the board.
Yep.
I mean,
I just don't,
you threw the kitchen sink in, but you know, I tried to read about the rest of the house, and
yeah, I have a lot of paperwork on everything.
yeah, but you just kind of threw it together and
well-
stapled it, and basically I tried to figure it out. All I can piece together is that CPS was involved. The child went over to her house during some investigation. The investigation
Yep.
puttered out and it showed nothing. And now the
Correct.
child is obviously refusing to return. But ma'am, again, there is no legal authority for you to hold this child. The child needs to go back to the school the child will be at. And if somebody wants to file a motion in the future to change custody, we'll address it at that point in time. But I need information in a little bit more succinct manner and what is going on than me having to piece together. What we're really here for is return of the child and enforcement of the current court order.
Yeah, and I can get
more pieces to it if I was able to respond to the motion.
Well, maybe you file a motion in the future. Maybe you file a motion in the future, Ms. Kershaw, but right now I have to enforce the current court order, which is what I will do.
Regardless of what's going on in Mr. Waters' home?
Well, bottom line, I don't know what's going on. I have CPS who investigated Mr. Waters' home and said nothing's wrong with his home.
Okay, well, they did have an open case for a while and had to make
it's closed. They closed it. They closed it at the end of June.
They still had an open case because they found minor things wrong. And
I've read the one of the things that was in the thing, although some of the pages were upside down. In reading the CPS report, they found nothing. They did not substantiate anything, and they did it on June 28th. That case has been closed. Once the case is closed, custody goes back to the way it was. Okay. So I've had CPS investigate, and they have the lowest burden in the law. If they think there is a problem, really, again, you're going to talk all over me. Okay. All right. I'm enforcing the order. Have a good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep. Thank you. Good. Thanks. When does she need to be home by?
You need to follow the court order. If it's your weekend, it's your weekend. But if it's not your weekend, now.
It's not my weekend, so he can.
Okay. He needs to go come get her. Yes.
I'll go
and
get her right now.
Then you blame me. It's the court enforcing its current court order.
So how does that work when I have a PPO order against her and
I saw that you have a PPO and no contact. What do you normally do with pickup and drop offs? She obviously has parenting time.
I just got the PPO order before when all this was going on.
Normally, enforcement of a parenting time order does not violate a personal protection order. This child is old enough to walk from a house to a car.
Correct.
He's not grown enough to separate our issues from co-parenting to his own personal issues.
All right.
I will be on my way to go get.
Can I request a front of the court investigation?
You need to file the appropriate paperwork to do so. Like I said, the only thing I'm here on, and that I had to piece together, was enforcement of the current court order, because the filing that I had was all over the board. So I had to piece together what might have even happened, because it's not straightforward. If you want a custody evaluation, you have to file the appropriate form of paperwork to have custody. All we're here on right now, and I kind of figured that's the way this was going to go, was that you two were going to throw stuff at me during the hearing that the court doesn't even know about.
Well, I didn't get a chance to respond because I was never. How can I get his PPO order sent to my apartment, but I never got the copy of this motion? Like, what would have happened?
Oh my God.
She never said anything to Madeline about it. Like, I would have missed it. And like, where did you guys send my papers? And I kindly asked his wife that, and she won't respond.
What's your address?
You know my address.
Hold it, guys.
Is
the address on 6th Street?
No, I updated all my information online because I decided to move back to Kentwood. It was a better opportunity. I updated my information online.
Okay, well, this was your.
Been here.
What online did you update it with?
The postal office in the front of the court, and I even wrote a letter.
Okay, well, we're gonna go off air so that